different campaign events, and but even before that, I remember we were moving on to Kinjo, and it was not Kinjo. That was somewhere in Grand Kim. I think it was a bar. I mean, it was just a sheer number of people that already gathered. It was not the same day the president was arriving. They thought that he was arriving on that day. And now we were sort of shocked to see the multitude of people, and this has been happening all over the country. I mean, initially people thought that the president was just amassing support in the Monserrado area, but that is absolutely not the case. It seems. Because even in the rural areas as well, there's been people coming out just appreciating the president. This has been more like a national endorsement of His Excellency the President. So those are the things we're going to be talking about. The President is back from Western Liberia, like we said initially. He's now he was in my Gideon yesterday, but the day before he went there the day before, where he was received by thunderous applause from the folks from my Gibi in different parts. People just surrounded his convoy as his characteristic of the president's entry into any area. People would just surround his convoy, lead him into the town, take him around, the different activities that he would be setting out to do and all of that. So that happened in Kakata. Those are the things we're going to be talking about this morning. But we're also going to be talking about the fact that the president is going to be heading to Grand Bassa County this morning. It was a couple of days ago that a leadership for the activities in Grand Bassa County was appointed. We hope to speak to former Information Minister Reverend Lawrence Kamla Bopler at some point during our conversation this morning. He might probably be the first person that we talk to today. But quite a number of things to talk about this week. Firstly, the NEC has assured that it's fully ready. The National Elections Commission has assured us that it's fully ready for the holding of elections in October. It is right on track. The ballots have been printed. They've received most of the funding from the national government of Liberia. The government has also been commended by international partners for so far so good. As a matter of fact, this is a key and cardinal statement. The international partners basically commended the government for leading up to this time in a free, fair, and transparent manner. So we're going to talk about that during the course of the conversation. But there's something explosive that happened during the course of the week that we're also going to be talking about, which is a damaging recording for folks in the opposition. Basically all of the different speculations that have been out there about what people thought might have been the intention of Senator Prince Johnson, whose MDR party recommended the vice tender bearer to the Unity Party. Basically, that has come out again for the 10th time into the fold, in the public domain. Basically, this time around, Prince Johnson himself is heard say on a clip what their intentions are. This should be worrying to folks in the opposition, and I understand that it's beginning to claim the attention of everybody. Yeah, so those are the things we're going to be talking about this morning. My colleagues haven't arrived yet, but at some point during our conversation this morning, I expect Daniel Nooks Thomas, the Assistant Minister for Information Services at the Ministry of Information, to arrive. But this is more or less going to be, an interactive program. I would love to hear from you, the public. So I'm going to afford you an extensive, amount of time on our show today. Again, my name is Barker Fofana. I'm the Deputy Minister for Technical Services at the Ministry of Information. I'm also the Deputy Spokesperson for the We Are Taylor 2023 campaign and Chairperson of the We Are Intellectual Movement. You're listening to MICAT.
Anything you want to do it well, but no one knows tomorrow.
Welcome back to MICAT Hour. Before we begin all of our conversation, let me remind you about one of the biggest convergence of people that's going to be happening on September 7th. In case you've forgotten, so the Coalition for Democratic Change the Weir Taylor campaign, the president of the Republic of Liberia, and the campaign team for his re-election. Basically, that campaign is going to be having a big convergence of people on September 7th. Remember what happened on February 4th? Was that February 4th, right? No, that was not February 4th. That was sometime in I think it was in August or July. It was in July, so there been several rallies this year, but in July there was something called the Thank You Rally. And that rally, sent a shockwave down the spine of opposition people. Many opposition people thought that, the president's popularity was waning, it was dropping, and the president was not as popular as people say he is, and all of that. And then the Thank You Rally happened. I mean, I have never seen the convergence of human beings as we saw on February 4th, when people from all walks of life were just walking. Some other folks, for the lack of a better description, basically said it was like the container of human beings had burst. That's what happened. That's what happened, I think, sometime in July, during the Thank You Rally. But the CDC, the Weir Taylor campaign is basically promising that the September 7th rally is going to be bigger. It's going to be huge. It's going to be one of the largest you've ever seen. Political rallies is designated to happen at the Antoinette Tubman Stadium. But these events, basically, people will say, "Oh, it's happening at a particular venue," but nobody converges. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a huge, a convergence of people there. But all of the different events will not just happen entirely at that particular location. People will be all over the place, just as it was, during the Thank You Rally a couple of weeks ago. So this is what is beginning to happen. While the president is touring the country, the head of this particular mobilization, the party's chairperson, Mulba Malu, is all out. I understand there was a meeting of auxiliaries. And guess what? That meeting of auxiliaries, auxiliary leaders, by the way, which happened at a huge location. Auxiliaries basically would be just the leaders of auxiliaries, you would have thought would be just a few people that wouldn't necessarily occupy a whole stadium, because these are the leaders, by the way. There's a small representation of a particular auxiliary. So even if we were to multiply the auxiliary by 100, they wouldn't occupy a big stadium-like environment. But that's exactly what happened when the chairperson organized this meeting of heads of auxiliaries. I thought it was like a football stadium. So it shows that the Weir Taylor campaign has hundreds of auxiliaries. So these people have been mobilizing in the different communities, ahead of September 7th. So it seems as if the September 7th program is going to be really, 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 really large. The president is touring the counties, the nearby counties, and he's going to be coming back for September 7th. This morning, the president is going to be in Grand Bassa, by the way. I understand the folks in Grand Bassa County are beginning to prepare all of the different these events where the president go there. It's just like a jamboree, the ambience around there. For those of us who go around, some of the times it's not just the atmosphere around the president himself, but it's the general atmosphere in the county. People are all over just having fun, celebrating. It boosts the economy of that particular locale and all of that. For instance, yesterday we were in Wheeler. I was just moving around Wheeler, because I was there. We came last evening, so you can tell from the quality of my voice. Barely high, no sleep. But I got to be here, because Duda called. Duda has called. So we were out there in Wheeler yesterday, and it was just fun, So after the president came from cutting the ribbon to jetty, turning on the switch for this rubber processing facility, he went to a political rally at the stadium. But, some people went at the rally, but it was just the general engagement of citizenry within the Wheeler area, the different marketplaces, the restaurants, the different shops and all of that. People were just having fun. Some of the owners of the restaurant were displaying paraphernalia of the president. We want Georgia, we want Georgia. The general theme of this campaign. Anyway, let me introduce my colleague, Daniel Nukes Thomas, like I told you, he was going to be here. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Buaka, and good morning to the good and peaceful, loving people of Liberia. Good morning also to our technical team here at the Liberia Broadcasting System, not forgetting our own Jamel Cooley and the rest of the team here. Good morning.
I know, right? What's up? How's everything, man?
Well, nothing much, just the same excitement relative to the ongoing meet and greet political campaign process that the president has embarked upon. And as you said rightly, there's been lots of colorful events that has encapsulated the entire process, especially around the different counties that the president has visited. And as a matter of fact, Magibi spoke significantly well the last 2 days because we saw different, line of individuals, auxiliaries, uh, people who are not even connected to the party. They all went out in their numbers. You see, it's more about appreciation in terms of what the president has done for the country and not individuals. So what you've seen in counties like Margibi, in counties like Cape Mount, Bomi, Wapulu, they are all exemplary facts that President George is still resonating with the Liberian people. And what is really intriguing is the fact that we we still remember that the president won 14 out of 15 political subdivisions in the last elections. At that time, he wasn't an incumbent. And now that he is, and he's ran on a party's manifesto, the PAPD, Proper Agenda for the Prosperity and Development, it shows that he's done significantly well in terms of his deliverables. The healthcare sector, like yesterday when you saw the dedicated program of that rubber processing plant. That plant, Bwaga, is significant because when Minister Toy, I remember when we were talking about power to the people and creating jobs in the private sector, this feature yesterday is an example of what we've always said, that it is not how many persons that works in government, but how many private jobs we create through the privatization of these different opportunities, the public-private partnership. So yes, so it has been a great experience so far, and we still believe that the president has got the pace, and he's going to do better.
And we've said on this platform that the president, contrary to some of the things that folks talk about out there, that there's been a lot of different concession agreements ratified on His Excellency the President. And the hypocritical part is that the very opposition people lawmakers who have ratified these agreements are the same ones that will come outside and say, no investment coming to the country. The likes of JD, for instance. JD was ratified in 2001. That's under His Excellency President George Mbuya. There's a $35 million deal that is intended to process raw rubber. So for many for decades, if not generations in this country, we've had the ability to produce rubber, one of the highest premium rubber products in the world. But we don't process them properly in order that to make them ready for the production of, to make them ready for value addition. So that is exactly what Jetty is promising. So when the president went over there, and by the way, these are things that the president had harbored and then talked to other people about it, and then, in Jetty and all of that. And then, the deal was eventually struck. And Jetty has gone ahead and fixed this. And what Jetty said yesterday was that this plan has the potential of giving the government of Liberia about $40 to $50 million in revenue annually. Can you imagine that? About $40 to $50 million in revenue annually. So if this money comes to the government, you know what that's going to mean for development in this country? So, plus the fact that you were talking about, employment opportunities. Currently, they have about 700 persons employed, but the potential could increase. They also are doing a lot for the community. They've built a hospital is going to be staffed and fully operational soon. They've managed to run water in the different communities. They're feeding people in the area there on a daily basis, and those are the kind of things that Jetty has been doing for quite a while. So this is just Jetty, and the president went there yesterday, cut the ribbon to the facility, and also switch it on. This is a big deal. But as you imagine, there were a lot of people just around, just there to cheer him on. They're cheering him on for a couple of reasons. First is, when you ask some of the young voters, why do you come around so much to cheer the president? And by the way, The vast majority of Liberian voters are young. The vast majority of Liberian voters are under the age of 35.
60%.
Yeah, but the vast majority of Liberian voters are under the age of 35.
Yep.
And the vast majority of young people in this country support President Weah. So I'm sure you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, they connect.
Yeah. So the vast majority of voters are under the age of 35, and the vast majority of young people in this country support President Weah. They will rather President Weah because of some of the things he's doing for them. Firstly, he reflects their values. He is a young person. They see themselves in him. Obviously, I don't mean that in the literal sense of the word. I mean it relatively.
Exactly.
Relatively, leaders of this country have been old. And then if you compare him to the person that's running for president, who will be 80 years old by the time he enters the executive mansion, you know that President Weah is relatively young. So, yeah, we can safely say, a young person. So that's one of the reasons to support him. But it's more than that. Firstly, is the life that the president lived before he became president. How he came from, firstly, being unknown,
Yep.
But also the same kind of slum communities that 90% of young people live in. That's where he lived before becoming president. He's not a traditional politician.
Of course.
He came from poverty, rose to the level of where he is now, but then didn't let the trappings of power to make him forget his people. He keeps coming around them. He meets them halfway. He meets them wherever they are, regardless of the rain and all of that. So he goes all out and about to interact with his people. And then he makes policies now, such as the free tuition policy, for instance, that will benefit them directly. So that's why you see these young people just trooping around him. And that's why you see, another thing that I'm beginning to see is, Daniel, is the number of artists that are beginning to declare their support for President Weah. First, it was this artist, I forgot his name, that declared his support, and then there's one of the Unity Party guys, I think overseas, was attacking him, and they went a whole day with that. Then it was Eric Gizo. It was Kizzy W.
First.
Then it was Eric Gizo. Then it's Teddy Ra. Then it's Tekun Party Ben long time. Then it's F.A.
Dench, the rest of the entire,
I don't know about F.A. I know Tatil Dench.
Dench has been around.
So it's just all the Liberian artists. Why do you think that is so, Daniel?
The first thing first, you went on to narrate a little story of the president. And there are two careers in Liberia that when your parents come from those backgrounds, the impossibility or the possibility of growing is almost impossible. So the president's mother, may also rest in peace, was a market woman. And when we talk about market woman at that point in time, we're just talking about somebody who sells maybe in Raleigh Town Market, maybe you're selling pepper, billable, you sell rare oil and stuff like that. And his father was a mechanic. And when you talk about mechanic at that point in time, also, even now, you'll be talking about just an ordinary mechanic, from those regular garages that do those, those wear and tear maintenances, not hugely major maintenances. So raising from that environment, Wakai, to where the president is today, in fact, the roadmap that was laid to get him to where he is today did not just reflect Liberia as a nation. Right? First of all, it placed Africa on the map that I don't know in how many decades or maybe a century we can find another African to fill that gap. That's the first one. Secondly, you also got to understand that you talk about the president cutting across the musicians and the young people. Isn't it obvious? This is the president who he's done basically everything the young people would do and others will criticize. Okay? If it's just the same thing, it's like a repetition of what he was when he was growing up. So at that time when you play football, they call you grown-up man. All right? And you don't be with a grown-up person and this and blah blah blah. Today when you even dance, these very people call you street kids. When the president would dance the Buga dance at a point in time they came, they call him Buga dance and all kind of name. But they forgot to know that those were things that were being impressed upon by the very young people that he was identifying with. And you said it rightly. Vast of the voters today are young people, not the musicians. The president has always, look, let's go back a little bit into the 90s when the civil crisis in Liberia was at its epic moment, or when the world was literally looking at Liberians killing themselves. The perpetrators were all in the different corridors. It took the resilience and good connections of President Weah, then King George, to organize bulk of his professional soccer colleagues and musicians like Awilo Longomba and the rest of them to design a music, a song that sang to the desperation of Liberians for peace. Okay, so his musical career resonates with the ordinary musicians in Liberia today because he's also promoted them to a huge extent. It was under this administration that the music industry, that the union started to receive the kind of relevance that she receives today. Okay, I mean you handle part of that administrative information, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so to fantasize or to hallucinate in a broad daylight that President George Weah is the complete disconnect with these ordinary people. You call it right and straight. It is important that these young people will obviously see the president as one of them. All right, so it's not so that's not something that we're going to bargain. I mean, the first thing is, Baka, before you come in, sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you tend to create an environment where the Englishman will say a comprende bourgeoisie environment, okay, bunch of individual who feels that the country, the economic sector, the jobs, the standards of living should only be squarely placed amongst them. This is the president that came and changed that. These guys have not been, some of the brothers who want to come back, who were there 12 years ago, were not relating to the ordinary masses as we are today. Some of the constraints that we go through, the sacrifices we make to have the roads done, to have the far funded, to have the different places, they would have taken up the sacrifices because they don't want to develop the country. So we've done this because we believe in the president we have, and his leadership has shown us what passion means when you are capacitated, and that's why the young people believe in George Weah.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, Daniel. I want to weigh in a lot on that, but I'd like to revert to a specific point we're making before we come to something quite significant, because there's been a couple of explosive recordings, that have hit the newsstand that we didn't really talk about. But let me highlight once again, just before we move beyond this point. And that is the fact that there's going to be one of the biggest convergence, one of the biggest gathering of people that's ever happened in this country. It's going to happen on September 7. So September 7 is going to be the launch of the Weah Taylor campaign. All that you've seen nothing yet.
No.
Basically it was just we were, scratching the surface, doing all of the different preparatory works and all of that to ensure that this day reaches. So the 7th of September, firstly, the different foot soldiers and the hundreds of auxiliaries are being mobilized across the country as we speak. So all of those different auxiliaries are in turn reaching out to their different constituencies and what have you, and mobilizing them. These people are going to come out. It's not much of a hassle to get these people mobilized because they're already they're convinced about the level of developments that have happened in this country. But they also weigh, the different options. All of the different people vying for the office of president, they pale in comparison. They do not compare to President Weah for a couple of reasons. Firstly, he's a president who wants to leave a legacy. Everywhere the president went, and on yesterday, in fact, he emphasized that. He said, I want to leave a legacy so that when people see spokesmen who will be leaders of the country, they will not look down upon them. So I am a former spokesperson. I'm a former football star. I was a Ballon d'Or. People underrated me just as they underrated me when I became president. But I'm going to leave this country with a legacy. Now, if a person wants to leave a legacy, that is profound. It shows that they are not carried away by the different, trappings of the office, just want to be in officialdom and all of that they just want to be president, or maybe, take away from the people. He is basically saying, I want to leave a legacy. What that means is he wants to leave something that the people will remember for generations. That's why you see him building things around the place. He's fixing things, and he's basically told some of his aides, and he's been giving hints of that on the campaign trail, is that when he's re-elected, the way he's going to accelerate development is going to be unprecedented in this country because we already set up the different foundations. So firstly, we're going to expand the different parks in all the counties. You see the parks that will be all over. We'll pass the very representation of the different places in all the different counties. Plus, there's going to be additional new buildings. We're going to connect the different counties through the road infrastructure and all of that. So those things are going to be accelerated on His Excellency the President. So just as you see the road going to Lofa, for instance, maybe in a couple of years, it may not even take long, 2-3 years, you might see that road reach Vonjaman City.
Of course.
You know, all the way towards the Guinea border. Yeah. But there's something that he doesn't just talk about. He's a practical president. He's not, the one that does a lip service. But on yesterday, he said something. I think it was at Unification Town. No, it was Wheeler.
Wheeler. Yeah.
He said he wants to ensure that the policy he instituted for free tuition is sustained even if he's not in power. But not only will it be sustained, that it will cover more people.
Yep.
So basically, he's saying that I will expand the free tuition policy. What is happening at University of Liberia? You see nothing yet. Maybe we can even incorporate, maybe some of the subsidies we give to private colleges, we can even incorporate them, we can expand it to ensure that all of those places also become free of charge.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's what the president is saying. Or maybe we'll bring it down to a high school level. So that will not be only paying wire fees. We may already that is not expensive, if not free. But we can also make the private institutions free as well. So basically, that's what he was saying. He said, I intend to ensure that when I leave office, several years after I'm gone, because he said he wants to leave a legacy. Several years after I'm gone, this is something that people are going to be talking about. Say, well, President, we are in office. Now, if a leader has that kind of vision, it shows that he's not doing it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that leadership is not for himself. Because listen, this man risks everything to mingle with you.
Yep.
How many presidents of other countries have you seen mingling with ordinary people at the grassroots level? That the way President Weah does. The last time we saw a president hanging out, he did it in a cage. I'm sure you've seen that internet picture of one of the presidents of Africa in a cage.
It's
Yoweri Museveni, but it was in a cage. Mingling with his folks
because of insecurity and all of that.
Well, I'm not going to delve into that because given our position, but yeah, our president is different in that regard. It's different. He walks in the rain. He goes to high to rich places. Look at the road yesterday between Kakata and Unification Town when we passed in Firestone Plantation. That road. And the president is going to be going to all the different places. So today he's going to be in Buchanan, by the way. We're going to be talking to Larry Comna at some point during the conversation. We're talking to him specifically because he's in charge of receiving the chief. He's in charge of all of the different preparatory works. Everywhere the president has gone, he received massive support. So that is not in question anymore. We're just going to be asking what exactly is going to be done. Because even our opposition folks have agreed, say, okay, we agree you're winning the election, but how you're winning? You're winning the first round or you're winning in the second round and this, that, and all. So that is not a question anymore. So we're going to be talking at some point. But what I wanted to just emphasize is the September 7th program. Get out, prepare, mobilize. Get boots on the ground. Get ready. It's going to be a whole day of fun in Monrovia. The official venue is ATS, but people are going to be all over. There's going to be the biggest tsunami of human beings that you've ever seen, that you've never seen. So those are the things that are going to be happening this week. Today is September 1st, so we want to be prepared between now and September 6th for all of that. We know that all of the different campaign paraphernalia are on the ground now, by the way. So in case you're wondering about T-shirts and blah 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 blah, those things have arrived.
So it means that the cannon is already smoking.
Yeah.
The arsenals have been placed in the different warring corridors, and then we are prepared. But you see, Wakai, the 7th, our official campaign launch, like you said, we'll see a multiple mammoth gathering. You saw the thank you rally. It was on a Monday, correct? And not many persons expected to see the number of persons that came out. In fact, we made our way through the party headquarters, and then we couldn't find a place because I had gone with some immediate family members, and then they could not allow me and them to go out for some official reasons. So I said, okay, well, let's go and find a place somewhere around the beach, the Bonaz Beach. And Boaga, you won't believe we went to the Bonaz Beach. It was overcrowded again. All right. You also saw the February 4th, the thank you rally for the president again. His nomination or re-elections bid. And the issue of CDC, even before it became a coalition and crowd, is like 5 and 6. Okay, they're very close. They're neighbors, good neighbors.
Okay.
So the truth here is that we believe that we don't have like the myth that they have in our corridors that we usually pay to bring people out. So I told somebody, I said, if we're paying money to bring people out, then there'll be barely not a single dollar left in our coffers, because the people that comes out from across even Montserrat alone to gather to where we have our programs is beyond reasoning. But here's the cool thing about it. Liberians are a grateful set of people. Liberians yearn for change. Like you were talking about the free education. I mean, if you look at the true history of Liberia's educational system, even public education has been expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, Bwaka, even public education has been expensive. It has deprived a lot of Liberians over the last 4-5 decades of the opportunity to school. Like I like to give the story of Maryland County when I was working there. So you see, what I've seen is that today the fisherman Harper Maryland County can send his son and daughters to Tubman University. Today the market woman can send her daughters and her children to Tubman University. Before, 90% of the people that attended TU were people from Montserrat County who parents could afford to send them there, were people from other counties. But the people in Maryland, Grand Crew, and Silo could not afford to send their children there easily. Today that has changed. So what the president is leaving behind is not just an ordinary feat, it is a legacy that is going to cut across the length and breadth of our country, and even generational speaking Liberians are going to continue to appreciate him for this. So that's what I believe.
And I couldn't agree more, Daniel. But let's get to something different. Something quite explosive. Something that we've been saying for quite a long time. So a couple of months ago, when the Unity Party selected Jeremiah Cole at the behest of Prince Johnson, Senator Prince Johnson, the former warlord, it was at his behest. We said that it was at his behest. In other words, he was the one that urged the former Vice President Joseph Boakai to select Jeremiah Cole. So all along, everybody had thought that Yombli Kanga would have been the one selected or somebody else. But then, as soon as the MDR flipped from the CDC and decided to join the Unity Party, at that last minute, all of the different collaborations that the other political parties, the Liberty Party, the ALP, all of the different collaborations, the ANC that they had with the Unity Party, all of those documents went out the window.
Yep.
They threw it out the window. They threw the different sacrifices that these people made and chose Jeremiah Cole. But Prince Johnson, we've said all along, Prince Johnson, by the way, if you remember, I mean, you know that he is senator, but he's a former warlord, So a lot has been said about his intentions and all of that. There were some pundits who were saying that initially, I supported the Unity Party, but the way I hear Prince Johnson and the Unity Party and the person that Vice President Joseph Boakai picked is, was designated by Prince Johnson. I'm not going to support that and all that. So they were struggling. The Unity Party had been struggling to convince independents, telling them, this is not a Prince Johnson pick and X, Y, and Z. But besides that, they've gone, some of these pundits went further to state, these analysts went further to state that the reason Prince Johnson, who have been a vehement critic of the former vice president, and even Jeremiah Cole, we're going to play that clip, who has also been a vehement critic of the former vice president, the reason they agree is because of the former vice president's age. They've agreed to this because the former vice president they know is old and is unwell. We're not saying this of our own accord. The former vice president himself has admitted that he's carrying a pacemaker.
Yep.
He himself has said that. And then one of his staunchest allies, Henry Costa, did say that the former vice president would need a heart bypass surgery within a certain frame of time because he was advised by doctors to do so. So there were concerns that why is it that these former supporters of the president, the likes of Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Cole, who previously denigrated the former vice president, will all of a sudden be supporting him now. So there were all kinds of different theories. What could have been, what might have been. But one of the things that remain paramount is the fact that everybody realizes that these guys are fully aware that the former vice president is old and is unwell. So they have denied that. They said, oh, they're not because of that reason we convicted and X, Y, and Z. But a new clip has come out to show that the only reason they're doing this is to have a shot at the presidency themselves, because they know that they can wield enormous support or influence over the former vice president. They can, because of his age, they think that he's not going to go all over the country and basically is going to be cool running the country. Some of the time we can think so lowly of ordinary people, right? So there are two things that happened during the week for me. One is that I met a guy who was fixing my vehicle. There was another young boy there. So an argument ensued in the mechanic shop. And people were asking, who you support? This young boy, I think he's not even 25 years old, but he's a mechanic. And he said something very profound. He said, I'm not going to vote for Joseph Boakai. He said, so people asking why. He said, even if I love Joseph Boakai, if I vote for Joseph Boakai, I might be voting for him. I'll be voting for somebody else.
Yep. True. That's very true.
And I'm not making this up. This is what I was shocked.
That's very true. That
this young boy will say that. He said, I'm not going to be voting for Joseph Boakai because I know Joseph Boakai is not very well. He has to shuttle between the campaign trail and the hospital, all those stuff regularly. So I know that if I vote for him, I'm not going to be voting for him in essence. I'm going to be voting for somebody else who I may not like. He didn't say that in quite, refined language, but that was what he meant. There was another guy, a driver, who was taking me around, a charter taxi. And then he was telling me, he said, look at the campaign. He said, everywhere you go, you want to see Joe, we are this and that. And he said, boss man, the way the campaign looking at how the result will be, yo. I mean, when he said it, I said, I thought about it for a while. I said, what you mean? He said, because the only person will see that Joe we are. He said, the way you see the campaign and how the result will be. He said, because I can see other people campaigning, I want to see Joe we are picture all over Joe we are campaigning and this, that, and other. He said, boss man, the way you see so those two statements coming from people who you think sometimes, aren't sophisticated enough, they were profound statements. But let's listen to this clip by Prince Johnson, who, by the way, has been fighting for his seat. In any other elections, Prince Johnson will be probably in Monrovia and giving directions to the people of Nimba County.
Exactly, but now
this time around, he's fighting for his political life. He's fighting for his political life, all because of greed. This man had the ears of the president. He had the ears of the president. He went all out and campaign for the president. You heard Gon Pukago on this very radio station was telling you the other day. The senator, the representative for District 4 in Nimba County. He told you that the president gave Senator Johnson everything that Senator Johnson wanted. He was shocked that Senator Johnson was turning his back. He said it was Senator Johnson who introduced him to the president. He said he was a witness to the level of goodwill that the president extended to Senator Johnson. He is surprised that Senator Johnson would turn around on that very man that supported him all along. Was a very nice. So he's doing this for himself. Greed. Now he has to fight for his political life. He going to District 4, the bullying, the stoning, people in Nimba County calling on the radio station saying they shouldn't vote for Senator Johnson. So those people now, like someone like the Senator Flobo, those are the ones he's calling. Like in this clip, listen to the clip.
This man is not. I went through sleepless night. I suffered day and night for 4-5 months, making the arrangement. They put Naomi Kanga Lauren one side. She was to be the running mate to the man. And Costa there. Today, they push everybody one side and take home. We are fighting for Nimba County to take the lead. And Nimba will win. In the name of Jesus. Basa with us. Bapolo with us. Bombing with us. Lofa with us. One County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother. What I do? You gotta change. Because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole Berege. We're fighting for you. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. When you turn to the man, against our prayer for you to produce vice president. The Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. The Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No.
I gotta play that again. This message is important. It's very important.
This man is not this. I went through night, sleepless night. I suffered day and night for 4 or 5 months, making the arrangement. They put Naomi Kanya Lauren one side. She was to be the running mate to the man. And Costa there. Today, they push everybody one side and take Queen. We are fighting for Nima County to take the lead. And Nima will win. In the name of Jesus. Basa with us. Bapolo with us. Bombing with us. Bofa with us. One County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother. What I do? You gotta change. Because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole Berege. We're fighting for you. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. When you turn to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president. The Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. The Omer is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No.
Okay, there are a couple of things I want to say about this video. First and foremost, this man is not working. He's not working for the Nimba people. Don't let him fool you.
Individual.
He's not working for the Nimba people. This man has been senator for 18 years. What has he done in Nimba County? It is himself. He thinks Nimba is his personal fiefdom. It's his personal property. He doesn't regard the 300,000 voters that are in Nimba County.
No, he doesn't.
He thinks he can just wake up in the morning, collects whatever he wants to, and tell the Nimba people, go this way, and he's supposed to go that way. Go this way. In one election cycle, he's supporting two candidates. Or supported two candidates. Just less than a year ago, he and the president went to Nimba County. He was telling the Nimba and said, vote for the president. So how did that change within a split second? He's telling them now to support another person. So it's not about Nimba, it's about him. The vast majority of Nimbayans right now are tired of Prince Johnson. He's been on the national scene for 80 years. Look, if a senator is senator for 80 years, with all the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of dollars he's made, you think Nimba County should be that one place he will build for himself? That's a profit making or college that he built. It's for himself.
Personal property.
It's a personal property. What has he done for Nimba County? Zero. Nothing. Nada. Nothing. And he's been senator for 80 years. He uses politics. He uses propaganda on the Nimba people. So the Nimba people are farm people. So it's not about Nimba. So no later he say, oh, that Nimba County time, this, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. So that's the first thing I want to dispel. The next thing is, did you hear what he said about Yombi Kanga? He said we talked to the VP and we dislodged Yombi Kanga. Did Yombi Kanga people hear this?
They heard it.
This is not the first time he's spoken denigratingly about Yombi Kanga.
Yeah.
The last time he said Yombi Kanga had temperament. She told what all waste outside, Joseph. You remember that?
Of course.
So this man, just after Yombi Kanga invested for years in former Vice President Joseph Boakai, for years in former Vice President Joseph Boakai, just because Senator Johnson came along within a couple of months, she was dished. And Johnson is boasting about that. He's boasting that Senator Kanga was dished. And the way they think they can appease Senator Kanga is by putting her picture. How many candidates in this election have you seen somebody else beside the president and vice president picture?
It's kind of strange.
It's strange.
Kind of really strange.
It should be the president and vice presidential candidates' pictures.
Really, really.
Why are they posting Senator Kanga? Because they feel they've wronged her. They feel guilty. They feel indebted to her. And they feel that they need to satisfy her. So that's why they keep posting her picture. But Senator Kanga isn't running for any office. And the Bassa people know better. No Bassa man on the Unity Party ticket. They know better. No Bassa man on the Unity Party ticket. The Bassa man, the Bassa son, you get on that ticket that John he's a son of a Bassa woman. So that lie and this, that, and they dumb her. And so they're trying to appease her. And Senator Johnson is making mockery of that fact. He just did that in that clip. You know, the third point I want to make is the fact that he said in that clip that Joseph Boakai is old. He's not going to be able to go across the country. And that Cole's going to be doing the job. You see, the Senate stop playing the people have for the country. You hear this? The Senate stop playing these people have for the country. He's saying this is a man who came at a dying minute after all these people have worked. The likes of ALP, Banana Ure, Costa, Talia Ure, Senator DeLon, Senator Kanga, all the ANC, all the people have worked. He came at a dying minute. Just because he had his personal issue with John, he was not certified. He came John or something, and then Joseph Boakai said he was willing to quote dance with the devil. He said, "I'm willing to dance with the devil if that's what it takes to win the presidency." That's what Front Page Africa quoted him as saying. So it is, these people are very unpatriotic. They don't care where we go from here. Senator Johnson has a history. And it's not a history of Nimba County. Look, there's a clip of the number of people that died in Nimba. I think somebody posted it here somewhere at the hands of Senator Johnson. So it's not about Nimba. The Nimba people are fine people. The Nimba people are nice people. They are good. They are smart people. They're good people. A lot of them are supporting His Excellency President Weah. Nimba Kwado, Nimba for Weah, Roland Duo, Garrison Yelu. I can go on Shadrach or Doki. All of those different people are supporting George Weah. Senator Johnson is on his own. He's supporting himself. He seeks himself advantages and privileges for himself. He's been senator for 80. Look, I want know how to be senator. That he want know how to make president. He just woke up one morning and say, "Okay, I tell you the opposite. Nima people, go their way." And that's why he's scared now. You see why he's talking in that clip saying, "If you made the president disgrace us." Because a disgrace coming. They say the disgrace, the thing I can make a chicken, the breeze I can make a chicken with me. I can disgrace the chicken, come be here. Yeah. That what happening to him now? Have you seen Senator Johnson fighting this much for his political life? Look at what is happening in Nimba. The Nimba crowd mobilizing heavily. Come on now. So if the Unity Party has selected, listen, they selected him thinking that they're going to get all of the different 300,000 votes out of Nimba County on account of that selection. But it seems as if that vote is beginning to split down the middle. He has split. Firstly, Nimba County has different, demographic. There is the Manon demographic, it's the Gio demographic, it's the Madingo demographic, it's the Crown demographic. That other people are going to vote quite differently. They're not going to be listening to Prince Johnson just because he sees X, Y, and Z. And we'll have Tier 1 Gongley in the race too. He's going to be a spoiler for them. That's going to give us our first round victory. So the Nimba people need to be very, 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 very careful. And also the general citizenry of our country need to watch out. This man has been saying that Nimba is his personal property, and he's just reflected that in that clip. Liberians from all walks of life need to be careful. We don't want to go back to war. This man is telling us that the vice president is so old that when he is elected, it is cool. Going to do. So that's the motive. And this is not the first time he said that. In fact, there was a political rally right in the face of the former vice president, such level of disrespect, right in the face of the former vice president when Senator Johnson said, "Oh, this is the pathway for the presidency for cool." Right in the face of the former vice president. So people are going to be thinking they're voting for Joseph Boakai, when in effect they're voting for coal. Because that's what Senator Johnson is telling us. That's what the former warlord Senator Johnson is telling us. So yeah, I'd like to hear what my colleague got to say. Then we'll play another clip of Senator Cole. When Senator Cole, listen, these people don't support Vice President Joseph Boakai. Senator Johnson was just about 6-7 months ago heard denigrating former Vice President Joseph Boakai. He said his man is sick. In fact, he said the man is a battery tutor and all other different things. But not just him. The man he designated to be the vice tender bearer to the Unity Party, even that man Say if he left with him, when I will ask specifically, say who you think should run in 2017 or 2023. He said, left with me, I'll be biased. John Weah should just be given a chance to run. This man said that 2021. Suddenly, he's changed. It is personal. These people are looking for personal wealth and achievements and all of that at the expense of the Liberian people. We've got 20 years of peace. 20 years. And one of the protagonists that caused us, that brought us this far, is the one who's supposed to be choosing the vice president. And that person now is telling us, if the candidate they're going under is elected as president of this country, he's not going to be the one running the country, but the one he chose. He's the former warlord. The one he chose, that the one going to be running the country. That the kind of past, that the past they want to take us to. Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, so if I may have the time, I'd like to first start by giving, a historical analysis of this issue with Prince Johnson and Nima County. I told you once upon a time we had this same conversation on this platform, and I said to you that there were dispensations that made Prince Johnson relevant, and there will also be dispensation that would definitely win him out of that influence he's got over Nimba. Now, many Nimbayans at a point in time focus on Senator Johnson because of the role he played, according to them. You know the history of Nimba was thwarted. According to many Nimbayans at a point in time, he was the liberator, and because of his liberating features, in 2005, you saw that they gave him the seat as senator, like you said it right. And the same liberating features took him to 2011.
Yeah.
All of these things were just on the basis. The first two, from 2005 to 2011, people could understand that, okay, well, maybe he's getting adjusted. But from 2011 to 2017, it was a different feature altogether. It was an individual who self-aggrandized. He created for himself wealth in the midst of these people.
18 years.
18 years, he created wealth.
He was senator for 18 years. Suddenly, he pretended to be some common person now, downtrodden, who's speaking for the Nimba people. When for 18 years, he spoke for himself.
But yes, but this
amassed wealth for himself.
But this is the downside. The downside is Prince Johnson brought Jeremiah Cohn to the United Party after all of the patriots that supported former Vice President Boakai when the party was literally dying. Folks like Costa, folks like Yomli, you name them. He admitted in this video, these people placed aside for Cohn. Now, the United Partisans or the United Party executive leadership, they believe that with Prince Johnson, they can have the votes in Lima.
Okay,
but that's not true.
Let's talk to. I'll get back to you, Daniel. Let's talk to the head of the CDC campaign team, the Weah Taylor 2023 campaign, who was just recently appointed, by the way, in Grand Bassa County. I'm talking about former Information Minister Larry Komla. You know that the president's supposed to be going to Nimba County, Grand Bassa County today, right? Yeah. You're gonna be eating. How do you call that thing, sir? They're not GB, man. They're what?
Fufu and Dudu.
Yeah, the Dudu and all of those different things in Grand Bassa County.
Our Bassa Domo.
The dumb boy, that's what I wanted to talk about. The dumb boy and all the doo-doo by its side. So we have Larry Komla on the line right now. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my distinguished gentlemen. I didn't hear the voice of a lady. What's happening?
They're either back, they're either behind the scene.
They're behind the scenes. So let me test the waters. Yo. Everywhere I want to talk to y'all. Oh, there you go. You passed the test. Gentlemen, good morning. Buchanan in Grand Bassa County is heated up with the greatest expectation of the one who brings transformation and change to Liberia. So we are happy to be on your show this morning.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, you were firstly, a couple of questions I want to ask you is how do you feel about your recent appointment, but also what are you doing in preparations for the president's visit?
Well, not only am I elated, I'm humble. Okay. Because I have been challenged along with my team, Emmanuel O. Sherman and others, so that we can deliver Grand Bassa to president we have for his re-election, something that we believe that we are most capable of doing and something that definitely we will do. And so I am extremely humble to be asked, along with my colleagues, to do this. Now, preparation. We have been down for over a week trying to make sure that we are in every nook and cranny, making sure from electoral district 1 to electoral district 5. And of course, Buchanan City is the biggest piece of the pie. So we've been doing what we know to do best, modeling the man in whose image that we now push here politically to make sure that the people understand that today is the day that they come out in preparation for October 10th. So preparations, gentlemen, have been going quite well. I'm approaching the Deputy Village now so that Sherman and I will lead the team to the Farmington Reach to receive our president.
You know, people have been comparing different gatherings of people, you know, the different regions. Some of the times people will say, some other folks will say, you know, the president received a bigger welcome here than he did in your part. So what are you preparing? Can we say in Grand Bassa, because he's literally a son of Bassa, right? So what kind of reception awaits him?
Yeah. Okay. So Boyka, I believe you were part of the president's entourage when you came in July.
Yes, I was there.
I think you saw a mammoth crowd.
Yeah.
We expect 1.5 of that crowd to come out today.
Wow.
To make sure that the president understands resoundingly that Grand Bassa people are not deceitful.
Exactly.
Yes, there are other political parties, there are other candidates, some vice from Grand Bassa, but Grand Bassa understands that this is change and transformation that it cannot miss. So we have been going from door to door, and we've done the best that we can, and we believe that the showing to Orange Grove, to Little Bassa, to Waka, where the president will be cutting for brand new roads, all the way to Buchanan City, and picking up tomorrow to go to ED4 and ED5. We believe that our efforts will pay off, and the president will be quite pleased with what he will see today.
Well, how long is he going to be in Grand Bassa?
He's here for a few days.
I figure he's going to be going to all the different electoral districts, right?
Absolutely. District 1 that starts in Owens Grove to Wakatown Electoral District 2, and then Buchanan Electoral District 3, and then on to Electoral District 4, and then District 5.
And also, you know, you were talking about our visit earlier. What is the general reception there in the absence of the president visit? What are people saying about him? Because there are other candidates in this race. Do you think he wields enormous support?
Look, let me speak a bit as a lawyer. It's not still complete. We cannot rest content. While we feel very sure about the president's resounding victory in Grand Bassa, we are also cautious to know that in politics, the metrics are keeping a steady on deck. You know, New Buchanan, all these places, our people are out. We are out. We're on the radio. We're speaking with simplicity. We are reaching out to the people, and we'll do that until October 9th or October 6th, I guess. We can't break the law. But we will keep doing it until we go to the... We cannot rest content. When the president leaves, our task rarely begins.
Yeah,
and we are up to the task.
Another thing I wanted to ask is, you know, some other people have been projecting themselves as, the godfather or godmothers of Grand Bassa County. I know you a prominent son of the county, and there are other prominent sons of the county that are on your team. Tell us about your influence in the county vis-a-vis those other people that have been, you know, sort of projecting themselves as daughters, as the owners of Grand Bassa County.
Well, you know, I don't self-acclaimed accolades. I can tell you it's
Oh, wow.
That campaign team,
Okay.
Sherman and Butler and others, and we will hear. Other people can get themselves all kinds of nomenclature, all kinds of surnames. We don't worry about that. What we know is what the Grand Bassa people know. And they know that Beku Bear has tried and has been tested and has shifted to put them from the valley of despair to a buoyancy of new hope. That's why I hear go about on this and across this. That's why I'm pushing, and together we make the difference.
Well, thank you so much. Any other thing you want to tell us? Yeah, the line is kind of crappy, but thank you so much. That's the voice of Larry Commoner. What do you make of it, Daniel?
The first thing is the people of Grand Bassa County, like River says, they've seen their son. The same thing they did 2016 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
And they've also, recognized the fact that their son is back again. So, and this time around, he's not just saying thank you to them, but he's coming to them to renew the mandate that they've given him the last 6 years, which of course he's been able to implement. If you look at the Grand Bassa University, GBU, the deployability of the road that leads to the university. If you look at the upgrade in the high called Bassa High, if you look at the different projects in the different districts in Grand Bassa County, it tells you that the president, is well on the way. Like I was saying earlier, Bwaka, these elections are not going to manipulate or manufacture votes. Votes are going to be assigned to candidates on the basis of the work. We live in a real-time environment right now, where the works you've done over the past can be expressed in real-time visual. So when we talk about we're talking about Nima factor before Dr. Poplar called. When we talk about Nima County and George Weah, Nima County and Prince Johnson, there's a big difference right now. The first thing is he was able to take George Weah to the people of Nima County and say, this is your son. He has come to you with several responsibilities that you will give him that he must implement. President Weah goes back and made ready all of these responsibilities for the people of Nimba. You think they are going to look at what he's done against what Bwaka has never done?
I know.
Even when he was vice president. Okay, the thing is, George Weah has individualized himself in a way that people can see that. Put politics aside. Let's dissect politics from the individuals. Let's compare the both. What has Weah done and what has Bwaka done? You come to find out in the end that George Weah has still done way more. Only if he's president, he's also done more. So Grand Bassa County is just going to be like Nima County. They're going to respond very well because the people are aware. Okay, a few days yesterday, I was speaking to one or two of those young students from Grand Bassa, the university. They came to Monrovia, you understand, to get some stuff on the weekend. And I was asking them, what is it like? The question, what's the general momentum? And the guy was saying, but Big Brother, what do you expect? That the president knew on our side. That's why if I will know Yomli is, the political leader there in Grand Bassa. But the truth is that George Weah,
Yomli not on the ticket. Yomli not, nobody voting for Yomli.
They're using
that senator. Yomli not on the presidential ticket.
That the reason why
don't pass a president on the presidential ticket.
We agree. But so it's important to note all this. So yeah, Bassa is going to respond. The same way Nima is going to respond. And interestingly, Lofa is going to respond.
So, before I open the lines, let me play this last clip. This one is of Senator Jeremiah Cone, the vice tender bearer of the Unity Party.
Yeah.
Besides the one where the one that made the rounds was basically was the one that people were talking about. Oh, the man said the vice president brain is old, is declining, and all of that. Well, he talked more. He even said, when asking at the time, he was technically a member of the opposition, the MDR. But he said, who do you think should be president in 2023? He said, if you ask me, I'm going to be very biased. It's George Weah. I think everybody should leave it. The opposition should leave it and let George Weah be the president. Suddenly, he's flipped. You know that personal reason, right?
Of course.
Pecking there again. I'm for the Liberian people.
Of course.
Then there's another play where he said, there's a reason why there's friction between. But listen.
His name is Senator Jeremiah Cone of Nima County. We transition into something else. 2023 is over the horizon. Your MDR is still collaborating with the CDC, and as it looks, you remain in collaboration with them. But of course, what do you think? Do you need a strong opposition to take you people on, or weak opposition?
So are you saying what I would prefer?
I'm asking for an honest opinion.
I would say maybe they just get George a second term. Everybody just sit down and get in their second term, and after that we get a new person to
Can you imagine that?
Okay, but what do you think?
I told you I would be biased.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get George a second term and all of that. This is the man who wants to see George now. This was just about a year or two ago. He said, let's just get George a second term. Listen.
Parties in terms of our democracy, all of the things that go on, you follow the news, you follow everything that is happening. You as a political person could be happy, but as a Democrat, as someone who wants the country's democracy to move forward, what do you think?
I think what is happening is good. It's good for our democracy. Look, unfortunately for our country, what is giving us a hard time is because political parties are still built around individual. And not principles. So if you look at the Unity Party, obviously that's Joseph Parker. Unity Party. If you take Joseph Parker from there, it will be like what happening in the Liberty Party. Because the Liberty Party is our Bronsky. Cummings is the ANC guy. Joe, we are the CDC man. Prince Johnson are the NDI man. In the United States, parties are built on the basis of ideology. So it is about people believe, so they can go every mile for it. But here, people flip in between because of greener pasture and whatsoever. You know why we're in a kind of arrangement? You know why there's always tension between the president and vice president? Because people believe there's power sharing.
You hear that?
In these kind of arrangements,
yes.
The reason that there's always tension between the president and vice president is that people believe there's power sharing. Because technically the vice president should have absolutely not much role. It should be ceremonious. The president should be the one leading. But what Prince Johnson is intending, but he said if Nimba will lead and all of those different stuff, which is not for the Nimba people, basically it was for him.
It's for him.
He said Nimba will lead and this and that. So basically what Jeremiah Kun is very much cautioning against is what Prince Johnson hoped to happen. There's going to be a power sharing, that there's going to be, Jeremiah Kun and all of that. Where Jeremiah Kun is heard in this clip, for 2021, but now he changed his mind, by the way, for 2021, saying the reason there's tension between the president and vice president is because there is power sharing and all of those stuff. Listen in, Bo.
I was trying to check. There is no one in any country, maybe some kind of country, but no one who became president at 80 for the first time. Usually, the 80 years met the person there as president. The boy was already president with 80.
So I was one of those who supported Joe Biden 2017 in the second round of the election. I supported Joe Biden because I believe at the time that the old man Biden sat behind President Salih for 12 years, sitting there observing and taking on tax. Apparently there was some advice he gave behind the scene that they didn't take, because you can advise the president and choose to take it or not. I believe he would have been a better president in 2017, knowing the mistakes she made and the progress she made.
No, but he was also led by extremists in the party.
Look, I don't
fighting to leave it.
I don't believe that people around you as a leader should control you. I don't believe so. Look, when you are a leader, the most dangerous people you should be a fellow are your immediate circle.
Yeah,
of course.
The people that Joseph Biden need to be afraid of, Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kun, all of those different young boys are telling him to insult President Ellen Johnson
and he's going ahead
and all of those stuff and this and that. So basically, that's what Jeremiah Kun has said.
Those are the people that destroy you. There's fight for people who want to get close to you. And so sometimes, much as you listen to them, you need to look outside and hear other people and compare the reality. You understand? Everything that happened in the Unity Party in 2017, I believe the old man draft it, so you can't put anybody, because my chief of time, my office can be moving some way that I don't want, I will stop you.
Listen to that. You heard that?
Yeah, of course.
Everything that happened in the United Party in 2017, the old man drove it. Because his chief of staff in the office can't be moving somewhere where I will stop you.
Yeah,
basically, when Women Pay came out on the former president Salih's birthday and insulted her, so he's basically saying the former vice president should have stopped it.
And he endorsed it.
but he didn't. That means he endorsed it.
Yeah.
And how we know he does it? He recently again came out to attack former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So let's that's interesting.
If you can't stop, I will fire you. Huh? Yeah. But if I said I'm not talking, I mean I endorse it. So let not be bringing certain people to say, oh no, in leadership, you know what people can do? People can tell picking low. When I press really fire when they try to say I don't know.
Yeah. They can tell you because they rather play really fine when they try to say I don't know.
And see, so I support that as a background, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he will have a good heart, a good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I'm buying a paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the owner could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you run for one term, he said, I agree with you. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else, promote the person.
Okay, let's open the line. 080-514-096. 080-514-096. 080-514-096. A lot to talk about this morning. 080-514-096. Call us on those numbers. Let's talk to Sekou Kalasco Damaro. Sekou is the presidential aide. Sekou, good morning.
Good morning, Baka, and good morning to the studio.
Good morning, Sekou.
Yeah, what's up, Sekou?
But I'm doing wonderful. You know, like any other person, you know, we just got back from the campaign in my country. Yeah. Which and overly excited about what I saw in my GD country.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's on the different stuff and how the people of Maggie were so receptive to President Weah.
Yeah.
Based on the many initiatives that he's undertaking, not only in Maggie but in the country as a whole. So it's a good feeling, you know, to be on the campaign trail with the president and to be seeing some of the reaction from citizens, you know. But I've said this, and I think, like last night you saw, Buckeye, when the president arrived at the last...
that was Dwazon.
Dwazon. I was even, when the president left, he went home, he was even saying that based on what the people of Dwazon did, Buckeye, to stay from in the morning.
Yep.
From in the morning up to the time the president arrived, Buckeye, the president said he paid a special homage to them.
Wow.
That's what he said yesterday. He said, Kalasco, I need to pay a special homage to these people.
Yeah.
And the way he want to do it, he will say, but he has said it, and you know who President we are.
We have his word.
Yeah. So it's a good feeling, Buckeye. And I've always said, Buckeye, in these elections, we are going to the elections based on what President Majidi voted, and from Majidi, so don't feel jealous of me, Buckeye.
They never follow far.
I want to tell you.
Yes, and they will not see, we are there. But 2017, Majidi voted for George Weah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He voted for the country. Without him being the president of the country, without him doing anything specific for Magidi. Now he was elected as the president. You see the many initiatives that he's undertaking in Magidi. Magidi benefited from hospital, benefiting from road construction. Magidi is benefiting the BWR and other institutions, market women, young people. In fact, as a matter of fact, President Weah is the only president that has given more job to sons and Magidi or daughter of Magidi as compared to any other president, Buckeye.
Yeah.
That is why Magidi are so excited.
And Buckeye, President William will win this election on the first ballot.
Yep.
Look,
Yep.
you see, Buckeye, the reason why Jumpy and other people say that, in fact, Buckeye will not going out of the country, we got 30 some more days to the end of the campaign.
Yeah, I think
The only thing they're doing, they're saying now on Facebook, they're insulting everybody, they're calling everybody memes, they're creating their own story. When they go sit down, they do voice over of a video saying, oh, they're booing President Weah, they're doing the one. And you know, we all know these things. We graduated from these things, okay? But I can say that 2017, the day Western days.
I know it.
The Western day, Buckeye, by the end of the day, President Weah was all, President Weah and Joe Howard Taylor, they were all in the trenches, making sure to sell their ideas as compared to what Buckeye is doing. When you hold campaign for 2 days, you go for treatment for 3 days. You hold campaign for 5 days. So we are here, we are prepared, we are getting ready for Buchanan, and you can see and listen to Dr. Buckler.
Yeah.
People, you can see the atmosphere, the euphoria that is surrounded with President. We are going to Buchanan in all parts of the country. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for monitoring the show this morning.
Okay.
It's a good we continue to share the ideas of the government and the president to the Liberian people.
Thank you, Kalasco. That's the voice of the presidential aide, Sekou Kalasco Damaro there. You too can place your calls to the following number 0880-514-096. That's 0880-514-096. Let's talk to our first caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, bro.
Yeah, your name, where are you calling from?
I know Morris Pastor calling from Grove Community.
Morris, go ahead.
We will hold your hand, hold your phone. So, mommy, what I carried. Bro, I know, obviously, when they found.
Yeah.
Saying that you read the play, when the Jassy, we can see the reason with Jassy, the cover ball.
I know.
Yeah, when I say, okay, what did they get you? And I, Babu say,
Yeah.
Put the fire on the water top. Okay, so Jogane, Babu, he fire with the cover ball. How did the cover ball will be bossy?
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to Maurita. Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Maurita.
Morning.
Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead, Maurita.
you see, some people know getting notice. Some people know they get anything to say. You're going to talk about and spoil their opportunity. So therefore, they didn't know what to tell the people. What are the things tell the people? Why you have voted for the people and what you have done? Don't check. We consider people being a president. Okay, you. We have insult the God insult. What of the government? I want to tell Carrasco. You must know what the president said. If I call you, you must pick on the poor.
They make me going live now. They make me going live. How you telling me to pick up all the call? They make it everywhere the president go, Kalasco can go live there.
I just want to get text on that.
So just send text.
Yeah.
I won't be the president too. So I want to call you. My president, I want to call you. There are something there. I want to call it as security to monitor.
What the fuck has to get it though?
Kalasco is listening to you, so I guess he will.
We secure for our president. And I say, I will give it a cover. No Kalasco. And whatever if I call you, you come and call. And I will.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's talk to this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning. This is the moment everyone coming from our way.
Mohammed, go ahead. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Yeah, the president, you know, committee yesterday, and then we waited for him in the morning or in the night until 8 o'clock. We were there waiting for him.
But I heard the one talking about Kalasco.
Yeah. Community.
Good.
You know, we are here, we're waiting for the day, so we never one round. We are not thinking about the politician, and we're discussing that. We're discussing the right now.
I know. Thank you.
The president.
Let's talk to callers. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Amos. I'm calling from District 3.
Yeah, Amos, go ahead.
Morning, Amos.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for this campaign to me, and it's so interesting.
and landed and listen to Smoke TV. They just lie on the person and me landed out. Anybody person would.
But listen, let me ask you something. Do people not do that thing for more than 2 years? Has it affected the president's support? It's a waste. It's a waste.
The child was 16 billion in the country.
They do that for more than 2 years. Yeah. Has it affected the president's support? You thought it would have boosted their chances.
The entire system.
Everybody knows, for instance, one other person, a former official of the government. The other man was former supporter. This and that. So all the people supported the government. So all the reasons they got are personal reasons. They probably know that. Let's talk to the Deputy Minister of Public Affairs and Minister of Information, Jalawa Tompo. Jalawa, good morning.
Good morning, Bob. Okay, good morning, Darren.
Good morning, John.
Walker, I like to be very real in my conversation, not to fake anything. I sent you a message and I told you that we're going to tell somebody, and the person asked me not to call the name because he himself will actually do it at the given time. Because of that clip that you play, so help me God. The guy said to me, boss man, even though you might be better, but this clip has changed my direction, and I'm going to join the We Are movement.
Oh wow!
That Prince Johnson clip.
That's very good.
Oh my God, yes. So and I like to respect him. I want to respect him.
Yeah, no,
he said I should not call his.
Please do.
Yeah.
Let respect.
And he himself said he would do that. But I also send you an update, which I know that you will read later on.
Yeah, I read that later.
I send you update on the, and that's just what I wanted to call you for. And I hope that you play that. If you don't know the importance of that message that you play that clip, I just giving you an example of the importance attached to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the voice of Jalawa Tompo. Jalawa is the Deputy Minister of Public Affairs and Minister of Information. We taking more of your calls. 080-514-096. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah. Name, where you calling from?
I'm Joe Thomas, and I'm calling from Tuporo, Shara community.
Joe Thomas, how are you?
Thank God so much. And then I have 3 cardinal reasons, and once I am assured and convinced, I believe that the recommitment of the mandate to our president will be guaranteed.
What are the reasons?
I would need to, and it's not just me, staying high because of the same views that are shared by others. What is the concrete framework when it comes to security? Next has to do with sanitation. And what are plans? And has to do with tourism.
How do you what?
Tourism.
Hello?
Mr. Thomas, are you there? I think.
Yeah, so just.
What's the last reason? What's the last concern?
Anyway, let's talk to this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, where are you calling from?
And thank you. I'm Joseph. Well, I would prefer playing most of those clips, for us to listen. I think yes, it is important for us, and I'm enjoying those clips as people are playing them.
Okay. We're going to play more of them leading up to the campaign.
Thank you.
And the thing about it, for Prince Johnson, own people to be giving her on him to the extent that they don't trust him.
But this is the time for the exclusive.
Yeah, to the extent that they don't trust. I think they should be telling for him. They don't trust him.
Yeah.
They don't trust him. I mean, the moment he calls them, they put it on and what have you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, but we find out student guest. And you may start up to go
I know,
Morning, Tyler.
I don't tell you what you want to discuss of the citizens of King Johnson. That means a fellow who came in and President Yao be media there.
Thank you. Let's talk to Rana Dubai. Rana, good morning.
Good morning, Waka, and good morning to the entire team. Thanks for the great job as usual. Just to hammer in a little bit, I listened to all of those factual clips. And you see the guys from the other end, the guys from the so-called rescue mission, I call it rescue mission.
They both say that mission and rescue mission. Why you come for your own rescue benegi?
That's a rescue mission.
It could be suicide mission, but I know it's a rescue mission.
And by the way, the suicide mission that this lady said yesterday,
No, for me, but for me, it's a risky mission because you can be sleeping driving. It's a risky mission. So let me say this right. They're trying to fight a fact. The people we are listening to is fact driven. That's Prince Johnson. That's their mindset for this country.
Yeah.
Now the guys want to change the narrative by bringing in some manipulated, foreign stuff like some project campaign. Anybody can write a Word document.
But that's nothing.
And put your logo on the, you know what I mean, brother?
Yeah.
So the real conversation is the conversation you guys have, brother. So I just recommend him. And nobody going to mind a risky mission. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you. I see a call from Vani. But this has attracted the listenership of a lot of different people. But you can call us on 080-514-096 or 086-561-537. Good morning.
This is Edmond Carr. We do have a say for the re-election of President. We are calling from Tuporo.
Edmond, go ahead. Go ahead, Edmond. Good morning.
How are you doing?
We're doing well.
You know, as we always say, the president campaign is on the basis of tangible. So this is why everywhere you enter, you see the mass movement of people towards him. I was trying to say this to the Liberian people. God has his own way of doing things. So this election, nobody will not say that God didn't reveal things. Because all of these reporting that are coming up, this is an early warning to all of us to know what has been playing in the dark. God has brought it to light so we will know.
Not going by the war again, no control.
As a path or running mate tool of President Kennedy, you and the person that's saying you guys are negatively discussing that person. The United Party guys are not seeing this thing. For them, all they are interested in is to rescue their pocket and rescue their family because they're not rescue. They are not here to rescue Liberia. They didn't do it 12 years. They cannot do it now.
No.
Okay? So this is why all are on board. Usually in fair, physically challenged, and whatsoever, we are on board. Okay? And the need we to have to say, as you'll be aware, we have our own show. We got on every night. So now 3 times we were carrying it the week on Facebook to discuss the good initiative of the president. And then we encourage our followers to share our video. This is what we are doing in our link corner. So we are also appealing to the campaign team. And the father minister took my number the last time. We don't have a say. Okay? Because it's data consuming. We are going 1 week, we're going to drop it to 3 times in the day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I also put my video on Calacto page. You should be able to see some of these videos and know that in our link corner, we are trying to record because each time I show in, you have 60 followers. You have 70 followers, and we encourage you to share. If 60 person share our live feed and our video, they are sharing with another 60 group of people. And that is the way that all of us are running the campaign. So we are appealing to the campaign team. Then they look to our direction. We are visually impaired people. We are looking for our resources to promote the president because we know what we are doing for Liberia and also do it for the disabled community.
Thank you. Let's take more calls. 080-514-096 or 08656. Let's talk to this caller right here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Let's talk to that other caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Abel Tapper. I call from on the capital bypass.
Yeah, Tapper, go ahead.
Thank you very much for the analysis. You see, I saw that picture coming, and I told somebody 2 days before that video leak. I told them that these guys don't have a good motive for this country. They are only doing it on the trapper line and self-advertisement. That's all they are running after. So many times they go in the street corners and tell people that the president has not done anything. Somehow we don't have the opportunity to meet this campaign team, but this is my recommendation to them. The way we started 2017, they say our videos on the cars showing the various projects of the president. I think we can re-establish that moving truck that will be playing the president project from one point and one community to one county. Let the people see these things instead of people telling them it.
Yeah.
So your please find that moving vehicle. Let the president be talking to the people.
Mm-hmm.
We know what is going on social media. They have a good cyber team that are cracking down every information and misleading the Liberian people. So my brother, I don't have the time. If you have your WhatsApp number, you give it to me. I will send all my information to you so I can work on it and see how better can make the country to take people from the kind of hands that are coming. The evil hands are coming to this country. Thank you very much.
I know, right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's talk to more callers. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm James B. Trouble Jr. calling from Monrovia.
James.
Yeah, thank you for the show. I just want to commend every one of you. President Weah will be voted in these elections based on his tangible. However, the reason why most of the opposition leaders are beating the war drum, if one is to give a historical perspective, it brings me back to the 1985 Soviet embassy, where they broke up diplomatic ties with the Soviet Union, because some members of those parties, the Liberal People's Party and the United People's Party, have gone there to watch a movie on espionage or spy. These parties were being classified as ideological parties. As a result, they did not take part in the 1985 election. There were 4 political parties who took part in those elections. However, as you look at this, they still have these guys around. The indoctrination continues to permeate in our political discourse.
Yeah.
So as we see things, they want to do that. They want to see. Just look at my last.
Okay. Thank you. We gotta move on. Let's talk to this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Peter. I'm calling from Congo Town.
Yeah, Peter. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. So let me say thanks for the conversation this morning. Yesterday, I listened to another person using James family in the OKS. He was talking about all those problems, those issues that existed in 1847.
Those are people who supported Joe Weah. They had a little falling out. So no,
and I guess because of that own interest.
I did have own interest at all.
Even when the journalist asked James Fanning the reason why he's supporting Joe Biden, he didn't give us any reason. Because he had one reason. Some of them because of their own interest. You see, the recording that he just played, Prince Joseph said that he had sleepless nights discussing, going back and forth about GMP picking the Americans as fast running. And he pushed the other people one side. So that means that Prince Joseph actually did this thing because of his own personal gain.
Oh yeah, he said Yombly was in vision, but then they push her aside. They managed to push her aside by talking to GMB, which is sad. Let's talk to Belete, the District 6 coordinator of the coalition. Good morning.
Good morning, Boyka, and good morning to the fellow comrades in studio.
Good morning, Benito.
Yeah, let me say this to the Nigerian people. What Warlaw Senator Johnson said cannot be blamed on the people of Nila.
Not at all.
That is far-fetched proof because
he's not even working for them. He works for himself.
Absolutely. And every time he tries to tell people that he is a warrior do not run away from war. So that is what President Weah has done. No other president has done it. And we are prepared to make sure that President Weah is really like that. Look, since 1822, where we live, we have never experienced electricity. The other night when the Bishop Michael Francis Road was lit up, the same old story that the folks of the Unity Party carried, they came on the road. That early government started it, and the guys from the CDC said, this is a myth. It was the President George Weah's project that laid this road, and it is his work that has brought electricity here. And they could not send the folks. But there is a simple thing I want to say to the Liberian people. For every time these guys come up with the myth, let us fact check what they are saying. What was there before and what is there now? As a member of the infrastructure team at the Ministry of Public Works, even at this difficult time, we are still working. And let me tell you, Waka, tomorrow, which is Saturday, at the Mount Bagley and Johnsonville intersection, we have paid all of the folks that are there We are going to clear that place so that the place can be paid by the contractor, so that we have vehicle parking on the side of the road about 30 meters wide. That is what President Weah is transforming this nation to be. You don't have to have conjecture over there because he's thinking outside of the box.
Yep.
More than that, as we speak, there are ongoing projects, even in the Tinga Village area. We are just holding up for the rain to subside. We are going to connect the various communities to the seminary and beyond. What we are saying, even on the day of election, we will still be serving the Nigerian people because we know President Weah's second-time victory is a one-round shot, and you can take that to the bank.
Yep.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you. That's deleted there. But we need to play. I think everybody's asking us to play the clips again.
Because those clips, I mean, we need to play them regularly, even in his county. I mean, so people can understand, the kind of, a person.
Let's play
actually is.
I went through night, sleepless night. I suffered day and night for 4-5 months, making the arrangement. They put Naomi Kanya Lauren one side. She was to be the running mate to the man. And Costa there. Today, they push everybody one side and take home. We are fighting for Nima County to take the lead. And Nima will win. In the name of Jesus. Basa with us. Bapolo with us. Women with us. Bofa with us. One County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother. What I do? You gotta change. Because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole Berege. We're fighting for you. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. We are fighting against our the owner is old. He take on to be vice president. When we win, they're not going to be doing a job for you. Can you go everywhere? No. The owner is old. He take on to be vice president. When we win, they're not going to be doing a job for you. Can you go everywhere? No.
Listen to that again. We're going to play it again. We're going to play it again.
I went through night, sleepless night. I suffered day and night for 4-5 months, making the arrangement. They put Naomi Kanya Lauren one side. She was to be the running mate to the man. And Costa there. Today, they push everybody one side and take home. We are fighting for Nima County to take the lead. And Nima will win. In the name of Jesus. Basa with us. Bapolo with us. Bombing with us. Bofa with us. One County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother. What I do? You gotta change. Because you alone, your voice cannot cover the whole Berege. We're fighting for you. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. We are turning to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president. The owner is old. He take on to be vice president. When we win, we're not going to be doing a job for you. Can you go everywhere? No. The owner is old. He take on to be vice president. When we win, we're not going to be doing a job for you. Can you go everywhere? No.
This old man is old. When he wins, can he go? Can he go everywhere?
And I could be doing a job for him.
Be doing a job for him. Wow. Yeah, my people, the choice is yours right now. But let me play the other clip, and then we can take more calls. This one is Jeremiah Cohn.
Senator Jeremiah Cohn of Nimba County. We transition into something else. 2023 is right over the horizon. Your MDR is still collaborating with the CDC, and as it looks, you remain in collaboration with them. But of course, what do you think? Do you need a strong opposition to take you people on, or weak opposition?
So are you saying what I would prefer?
I'm asking for an honest opinion.
I would say maybe they just get job a second term. Everybody just sit down and get in their second term, and after that we get a new person to take over.
At the time of supporting Joe.
What's happening with the collaborating political parties in terms of our democracy, all of the things that are going on? You follow the news, you follow everything that is happening. You as a political person could be happy, but as a Democrat, as someone who wants the country's democracy to move forward, what do you think?
I think what is happening is good. It's good for our democracy. Look, unfortunately for our country, what is giving us hard time is because political parties are still built around individual and not principles. So if you look at the Unity Party, obviously like Joseph Parker, their Unity Party. If you take Joseph Parker from there, it will be like what happening in the Liberty Party. Because the Liberty Party is our Bronsky. Cummings is the ANC guy. Joe we are the CDC man. Prince Johnson are the NDR man. In the United States, parties are built on the basis of ideology. So it is about people believe, so they can go any mile for it. But here, people flip in between because of greener pasture and whatsoever. You know why we're any kind of enrichment, you know why there's always tension between the president and vice president? Because people believe there's power sharing. I was trying to check, there is no one in any country, maybe some kind of country, but no one who became president at 80 for the first time. Usually, the 80 years met the person there as president. The person already president with 80. So I was one of those who supported Joe Biden 2017 in the second round of the election. I supported Joe Biden because I believe at the time that the owner Biden sat behind President Salih for 12 years, sitting there observing and taking on tax. Apparently there was some advice he gave behind the scene that they didn't take, because you can advise the president can choose to take it or not. I believe it will be a better president in 2017, knowing the mistakes she made and the progress she made. No, but he was also led by extremists in the party. No, I don't believe that people around you as a leader should control you. I don't believe so. Look, when you are a leader, the most dangerous people you should be a fellow are your immediate circle. Those are the people that destroy you. There's fight for people who want to get close to you. And so sometimes, much as you listen to them, you need to look outside and hear other people and compare the reality. You understand? Everything that happened in the Unity Party in 2017, I believe the old man drive it, so you can't vote on anybody, because my chief was telling my office can't be moving in some way that I don't want, I will stop you. If you get stopped, I will fire you. Yeah. But if I sit, I'm not talking to me, I endorse it. So let not be bringing certain people to say, no, in leadership, you know what people can do? People can tell picking low, when I press really fire it when they try to say, I don't know. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, a good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now,
the thing is, these are the two MDR prominent people who don't believe in the capacity of the man they're following. They don't believe in him.
No, not at all.
They don't think he's capable enough. Johnson said the man is old. He can't move around. They're going to be leading. That's what he basically said. We will lead. You know, Jamaica going to be doing the work. Jamaica was heard on another clip, basically saying the same thing about the old man, that mentally he's not capacitated to lead and all of the different stuff. These are the two people that are on the Unity Party to go. Daniel.
Prince Johnson clearly understands that his political tenure is at a demise conclusion, and so what he's trying to do is to create a protectorate for himself. So the whole idea of taking Kun to the Unity Party is basically because, assuming the worst case scenario, the way they're fighting, the worst case scenario, which of course maybe that's a utopia, and they win, and he loses as senator of Nima County, which of course he's definitely going to lose. The quote unquote president, the actual president Jeremiah Kun, because according to Prince Johnson, his audio, he said his Kun is going to be doing the work, so Kun is going to protect him. That is the bond between them. So it's not about the people of Nima County anymore. It's about the person who sees himself as the owner of Nima County, creating a fallback position for himself. Something that is not going to work, Bwaka. So you see, like we were saying earlier, I like the way even the callers are yearning for, us to continuously play the audio, because if this message resonates with our people, even the Nimbayans will now understand that, oh yeah, since 2005 we made this man who he is, and today he wants to implant somebody. We should follow him because this is what he wants. We're not going to do it. So you see, the people need to be very conscientized about what is happening. Senator Johnson cannot continue to play on the minds of the people, owing to the fact that you said something earlier when we started the show.
Yeah.
Mass of the people that are voting are young people below the ages of 35.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, these young people below the age of 35 has got no physical experience of the civil crisis that ravaged our country, especially that of Nema County. So what they're going to be looking for is what the president has done or what Joseph Boakai has done, that their political leader wants them to follow Boakai now after what President Boakai has done. And this is a difficult, because Prince Johnson is not going to tie the people in Bono and carry them with lassos on their neck, the necks to go and cast the ballots in favor of Joseph Boakai when time comes. It is tangible against imagination. Okay? United Partisans are more angry, especially the executive or committee members. They are very angry. They are pushing an anger-based campaign, contrary to pushing a campaign that makes sense. That's why I always say to people, this whole idea of a rescue train is a misinformed, misappropriated slogan that is not suited for them, because there's nothing that they're rescuing besides themselves. Okay, and Liberians are not going to fall for that. It's so good, like the other caller said, that these information are now coming up that people can know what has been soon behind the curtains that they want us to wear. And Liberians are not going to wear that program.
Well, anyway, I got this information from one of the standing committee members of the At Risk Youth Program, the Deputy Minister Jalawa Tampo, who wants me to read it.
Yeah, sure.
He said the national process is on to get our brothers and sisters who are the At Risk Youth from the streets detoxified, rehabilitated, and reintegrate them into communities with skill. Let me read that again. The national process is on to get our brothers and sisters at risk youth from the streets, detoxify, rehabilitate, and reintegrate them in our communities with skills. So far, between August 21 to the 30th, 2023, 266 at risk youth have voluntarily turned in themselves and are undergoing the process. Of the 266, 39 of them who thought we were giving out money escaped. Here's the breakdown. Montserrado County, total number of admission 177 by center. Starbase 106, males 105, female 1. ES Green 40, males 29, female 11. Mother Rescue Center 32, all females. Magibi County, total admission 50. I believe we saw them yesterday. Or day before yesterday, that is. By centers. Wellness unit 19 males, 1 female. Samuel Grams 29 male, 1 female. So basically, what is happening is that the government has begun this process of rehabilitating young people. Remember, the government initiated a multi-million-dollar process some time ago that the government contributed some money to, and there were money expected to come from different centers and different international organizations and partners. And so that process has begun in earnest. I believe we did see some of them yesterday when we went ahead at the C.H. Rennie Hospital. Me along with the Minister of Information and the Deputy Minister of Public Affairs and Jura Sano as well, the Assistant Minister for Daniel, somehow was supporting us. So we went there and basically talked to these young people, and they were glad that they were in a rehabilitation facility as part of this national program. I think we saw dozens of them. But one of the things that it said that was quite profound, and I think Kwame, who was doing the Lena shoot, recorded them. One of them were talking, say they probably lying on our president, talking, say the man brought Kush this and that. Man said, Baby, I was taking Kush long before John Wiakin. It was sad, but it was quite telling. It was sad. But he was saying it basically. Say, look, I'll take a course long before President we are in the power. So this, that, what lie on the president for?
I mean, they've been exposed to it.
So they've been exposed to it long before. Anyway, yeah. So we will take up. I don't know. I don't think we'll take any more calls. We're gonna take like 3 or 4 calls. Just before we close.
In the meantime, let me read a comment here from.
Okay.
Let me read, because we have more following.
Yeah.
So Rina Cruz is following us from Germany. She says, "Yeah, this is exactly what I've been saying. Why everyone can go for their second term, and they don't want the president his second term? Why? And especially when the president is doing very well for the country, and things he's done that we have not had since 1847. Imagine she's in Germany." It concludes by, "God is fed up with them." Yeah, she says that God is fed up with them, and that's the reason why President Weah is going to win the second term.
Call us on 080514096, 080514096. We'll take 3 calls and then close the show. Good morning.
Morning.
Your name, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Chief Blackburn, District 50.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my brother listened to that this morning. So the opposition is behaving like old man, a little boy coming up, and then the little boy told that old man can beat him, but he can saying that you can beat me, you can beat me. But when you beat on him, then you run to the police station. So they only do anything at the end, they will run to the court.
I know.
I know that was the way end there. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take more calls. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. All right, let's take other calls. Good morning.
Good morning, Boga. How you doing?
I'm good. Your name, where are you calling from?
Well, Boga, this is Aaron Zing, and I'm calling from Riyadh, and also the PRO for Beba Warrior Movement.
Okay, Aaron.
And the son of Nima Kante. Boga, it is frustrating for
Yeah,
all.
yeah. These are the sons we want to hear. The sons of Nimba. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the same name for Nima. There's no part of Liberia fans saying on Nima.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. Look, we are frustrated for some of us. Look at the level of education that Nimadens are.
Yeah, very.
So much highly educated. Then we have a guy who called himself Godfather. One guy calling himself Godfather of our country, our great country, our developmental country. That we ever put all our resources in.
Sure.
Then there's crazy on a daily basis.
I know.
And some of our leaders who are educated, who set entire both Liberia and abroad, now they are not speaking. It's here all a lot. But nevertheless, we will vote President Weah will not be ungrateful to any other country. The road from Ganta to Senegal have never been, but now we can drive from Ganta to Senegal to Locato, from Ganta to Saketiye, all the way going. And that road going to go grind all the way to the southeast. We will never be ungrateful. We have been having progress in Ganta using the military house, but now we see a building that's coming up that we call the city hall in Ganta. My people.
Okay, we gotta go, Zay. I understand your point, but that's all the time we have for today's edition of the show. It was quite an interesting edition. You know, for all of those wanting to go out there with the president, you know, prepare yourself. The president is going to be in Grand Bassa today. That's going to begin the president of a 2 to 3 day visit in the Grand Bassa County. He's going to visit the different electoral areas, but don't forget. The biggest convergence of people is going to be happening on September 7th. That is when the Weah Taylor campaign official. No, all that you been seeing happening in Mosorado, blah blah blah. You're going to put a pale in comparison to what's going to be seen on September 7th. Come out in your numbers. We know that hundreds of auxiliaries are already out there in the different communities and what have you. You know, mobilizing people. So you know, people's going to come out in their numbers to just. Tell the president thank you again. No, this time around is the launch of the Weah Taylor campaign. So they're going to be officially launching the campaign and then put just a final nail on the coffin or whatever ambition anybody else had, you know, to say they're going to replace him because he's done so much. The young people, the older people, the vulnerable youth, the poor people, the market women, all of them are going to be coming out to just say, this is the man we want and, you know, this is our campaign.